If you're a woman in recovery, you're not alone. Pregnant women often feel their baby brought them through the doors of recovery. Even if they don't mind hurting themselves, saving their child can end up saving them. Suzanne Hurstrom, the clinical director at ABC Recovery Center, shares her journey and her passion for making a positive impact in other people's lives.
So Suzanne, tell us a little bit about the programs that do help the women that come to you.
So we have a special perinatal program, which is special funding for pregnant women. So we can't detox a pregnant woman if she's on heroin, but she can stay in our program until she has the baby. And then there's special funding for a continuum of care, which will house her and her baby up to 1 year.
So Suzanne, that is an outstanding program, and the long term, that a year is available to these women that are suffering. That is so wonderful. And are there a lot of success stories with these women staying clean? Do you know?
Yes, actually, I know a couple women that have had their babies there and still clean, and they still have service around the ABC Club, so it's an ongoing thing.
You know, and the more people that heal and get clean can help others. So it sounds like a really exceptional environment.
It is.
And especially if you have you're pregnant and you don't know where to turn and you need help and you know enough to ask for it.
Right.
People shouldn't be embarrassed.
Right. They shouldn't.
Are they? Do they ever come? What is the variety of stages? Like from beginning pregnancy to near the end? Does anybody come in when they're right before they're ready to deliver?
I'm sure there's been instances. I haven't personally been around there, but it would depend more on the drug use.
But you do see it all different ages, I'm assuming, in stages of the pregnancy.
We have a woman right now that's 4 months pregnant. We have a woman that's 30 months pregnant.
Then you do have the differences.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So there isn't a time or date that you turn them away.
No time frame, no.
You don't turn anyone away. I love that. How about another example of a program that helps? Let's say, let's do someone older, because you cleaned up real young. 19 is very young.
I did.
And I'm sure that you have an opinion about that. And if you tell us your opinion, because you have a right to have an opinion on when you clean up young, what the difference is for these women that are listening that may be struggling at all different ages. What would you tell them?
Well, there's a difference in program now. When I got clean 13 years ago, there wasn't a lot of young people. There wasn't. It was my mom's age and older, so to wrap my head around being accepted into a whole bunch of older people's lives was hard. So,
but you had the determination and the desire, or you would not have cleaned up.
Well, I didn't want to go back to doing what I was doing, yes. Absolutely.
Good for you.
Absolutely. And I think now it's a lot more acceptable. There's a lot more young people. They have special meetings for young people.
I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah, it's amazing on how much it's grown. So
well, sometimes in high school, when kids are doing the normal partying and really experimenting with what they can and can't do, and trying to get away with something that's all just a part of growing up, and the separation between parent and child. Sometimes they see, hey, I'm not the same as my other friends. I drink differently.
Well, yes, but they have to get to I think you have to get to a place, because I was that person. I was like, I'm 19. I'm hanging out, I'm partying, I'm doing what everybody else is doing. I'm just not going to school full time, right? And I had to take a look at the people that I was hanging out with were getting worse and worse and worse, and the drugs were getting harder.
Some of them older?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
so you were looking at
older, jobless, homeless.
Okay. So you were seeing their lives were not looking very attractive to you.
No, and I was like having those thoughts that you're saying right now. Like, do I really want to be the person that they are? Do they really have anything I want?
That's the road ahead of you.
Yeah. So
that was very intelligent of you, though, that you could do that.
Yeah, well, those are the thoughts. I didn't want to continue doing what I was doing and end up like that. I wanted to be happy and have a successful, happy life. And
that's wonderful.
I have tenfold now.
So that was the instigator. The thought of being like the women that you were hanging around and turning into what they were. And they were struggling and didn't have jobs and were homeless.
No, they had they were missing hair, they were missing teeth, they were selling their bodies on the street, and I didn't want to do that.
All of the things sound so tragic.
Yeah.
So you've led such a good life to be able to help so many people.
I'm lucky.
You and grateful, I can tell.
I'm super
grateful. I can hear
grateful.
that.
Yeah.
Well, Suzanne, so the other program then for the older people, I'm glad they have younger ones now.
Mm-hmm.
What about older age, 50s and 60s? If someone has, because I know women, I have friends that they've struggled all their lives, and I've watched some people that say, I've had enough. How are they treated differently than like a 19-year-old?
I don't think that they're treated differently. I think actually being in the residential field with them and being in the house and the community and the age differences, that I think that the older generation bring a sense of like, this is really your last house on the block. This is where you're going to end up if you don't start making some changes.
That's what would be different between a 19-year-old, by the way, because you've got the world, your whole life in front of you.
Right.
But if you're 50s or 60, you don't even know how many days you have left.
Well, right.
It doesn't. Life is limited. Nobody gets out of here alive.
No. Okay. And you can't teach a 19-year-old anything. Because don't you know, they're adults. They run their own world.
So finally, that's the advantage to that age. They know this is their last chance.
Mm-hmm. There's a beautiful balance between ages in the house at all times. And each of them get to teach each other what the other doesn't know.
I really love hearing that.
Yeah.
Because that's the way we're supposed to do. We're all connected.
Right.
And this is how we're connected in a positive way.
That's right.
You're doing a lot of positive work at the ABC Recovery Center.
I'll own it. I am. It makes me happy.
And Suzanne, do you meet every single woman that comes through that door?
Yes.
Well, I think that's a good feeling if somebody's watching and is intimidated or fearful of going in a new direction, but feels that it's the right time, that they can feel like they can call you.
Absolutely. Anytime.